All right, let's get more on this now. Candidates vying for the position of a commissioner at the Independent Electoral Commission faced tough questions today. The interviews took much of the day and seemingly have ran into the evening. Canny Maphanga is there and brings us this, of course, live report. Now, Canny, have all the candidates appeared before the panel?
Well, good evening to you, Bongiwe, Iman, and the viewers at home. Of course, just to give you a bit of backdrop before we get to the candidates that have been shortlisted today. Well, what we're dealing with today is a panel established in terms of Section 6 of the Electoral Act, and that panel comprises of Chapter 9 body heads, such as the South African Human Rights Commission's head, Advocate Majola, Advocate Mukhali of the Commission of Gender Equality, Advocate Kolega Talega, the Acting Public Protector led by Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. They tasked with filling one vacancy in the IEC. That is a fixed term appointment of 7 years. So from 9 a.m. this morning, we've been seeing the 12 shortlisted candidates come through for various interviews regarding their suitability for that role. Remember, this panel will recommend the individual if they do find someone out of the 12 that is suitable for this post, and then that appointment will be made in terms of provisions of Section 6, and of course that will be done by the highest office. So if we talk about some of the shortlisted candidates that we've seen appear before this panel, we've conducted about 11 interviews so far. The last one is being conducted right now as we speak. I think it's Ms. Mabuza that has just started her interview there with the panel. Of course, some of the notable people that we did see was Ms. Janet Love. She's not new to the Chapter 9 body space, if I could put it that way. She has served in the Human Rights Commission, and of course she was the previous vice chair of the IEC from 2018, and her term ended in April. So she has quite vast knowledge on the role regarding the task that will be ahead of the IEC ahead of 2024, which is being described as a watershed moment for the country. Another notable candidate we saw was Dr. Isaac Dintwe. You may remember him. He appeared before the Zondo Commission. He was also the former Inspector General of Intelligence, so he has the skills of oversight and looking at those important skills that can guide them in the IEC in ensuring that they perform this mandate of free and fair elections.
And Kenny, one then wonders, especially now with the last candidate, and I'm sure as the journalists are watching this, you'll then be closing the day and wrapping the day, that is. But what then happens after this particular interview?
Well, after this particular interview, the panel will then go into deliberations. So what we did expect is for them to reach a conclusion today. However, one of the candidates, Advocate Lowe, there was some technicalities regarding the qualifications as they overlapped one another. So to get that full assurance, the Chief Justice, Raymond Zondo, requested further documentation to support the qualifications that she had that almost overlapped one another in similar years. So we assume that that will take some time, at least until Friday, for that to be submitted to the panel, and then only then would it be fair for them to make an informed decision regarding who they recommend to this very important function in the IEC ahead of 2024. Again, Bongiwe, I don't think I need to stress the importance of Chapter 9 bodies and the role that they play in a constitutional democracy in upholding those democratic values and the democratic rights. Of course, the 2024 elections, we're dealing with a changing political landscape, and we're also dealing with electoral reforms. And of course, one would say, well, the IEC has dealt with electoral reforms before with the international votes, with making the voters' roll public. But I think this challenge is a bit different with the New Nation landmark case, with them having to deal with independent candidates and still facing litigation against this new amendment regarding that. So there are a number of challenges that this body will be facing in a changing political landscape with a whole different ballot with new faces as well as new political parties. So the panel needs to be sure when or if they decide to recommend a name to that high office to serve in this fixed term for 7 years.
And it'll be interesting, I mean, to even see what happens in this regard as you talk about some of the challenges. One thinks about, some that have even come out from the candidates themselves, dispute, resolution mechanisms that may need some re-looking as well. But let's leave it there with you so you can quickly catch up on that last interview. That's Canny Maphanga there giving us the very latest from those interviews.